Hey, it's Joe Glines from the Automator, and this is an extract from our hero call. I had asked Isaias to walk through using the Claude API and how it works of sending conversations, prompts to Claude using the token. You need to go get a token, of course, but please check out the video. If you want to get the Claude class, I'll put the URL up here for you where you can grab that. And it's just a great time saver. We've created a lot of AI tools, and this is the bulk. This and OpenAI are the two we use a lot. There's several others that we use, but those two are great. Again, this is an extract from our hero call. So if you're interested in learning these kinds of topics, consider joining the hero group. And you get access to 25% off of all of our scripts and courses, as well as you get free access to our Telegram group, which is you can ask questions whenever you want. Plus, we have 3 hours of meetings a week. So check it out. Have a great day. Cheers. To go over the Claude API, actually, like a word.
Sorry, the what?
Using Claude API. Like to.
We haven't gone over it, right? So
yeah, what I'm saying is it's a great class, and I don't think many people have actually got it, and it's just amazing what you can do with it.
This is a simple class we created. This is not completed, so there's a lot of things that we haven't done, but particularly the part of the class that we actually enabled was the messages endpoint, in which you can create a message, send it to Claude, and then get back a response. Basically, there are a few things that you can pass as parameters. The messages is an array of arrays. I will show you an example in a second. Sorry, an array of objects. Those objects are formatted in a very specific way that they are expecting. Here, and I saw during I don't know if it was on the hero group or something, I saw some people talking about the streaming of talking to AIs. And on both classes we are using, you can pass the Boolean to stream the responses. But the problem with that is you have to manually manage the streamed response, which is not an easy task. So even though it is available and you can use it, if you don't know how to do that, it is going to be a little bit tricky. And we haven't done it ourselves. We have been doing everything as a, well, we're doing async calls, which means we can send a request, leave it until it finishes, and when it finishes, it replies back. And that's it. But we're not doing really streaming, which we might work now that some of our clients have been requesting for it. Then you have the temperature as usual. This is the system prompt. You can pass the system prompt to it, and tools and stuff. So all of the options that we had available when I started creating this class, we had it. And we also include which models you can use. You can use any of the models that they have in their website, but I just defaulted to showing the ones that we are using the most as an option for the model. I will show you in a second what that means. But basically, whenever you call the create, it just goes ahead and gives you a response back, which is what we're going to be looking at in a second. So in the class, I don't know if we had already some examples. Not here, but this test class gives you an example of how to use it. So basically, this is how you would make a call. You will call the Claude messages endpoint, create. That's the function that I was just showing. We put in there the model that I want to use. And this is what I meant before. So if you don't know which model to use, you just press Control Space and it gives you a few options. And I just listed the options that make sense, which are the latest options. But you can put any you want. So if you have a very specific endpoint, which was like 2024 or whatever, you can put it there and it will work. I was just basically
Assuming that's an actual model.
Right, of course. Now, this is the important part. This array right here has to be created in a very specific way, and you can create it like this. It is an array of messages. Each message contains a role and a content. There are different roles. You have the assistant role, the user role. I don't think Claude AI takes the system role there, because the system prompts, you can pass them in a different place. But this, you can send multiple messages like this, right? And with different messages. And that you can use to send kind of like history back to it if you want it. Usually we just send one message of what we want to do. All right. And that array right here is what we then pass to the parameter that expects the messages. I was not using a variable. I was just hard coding it there. All right. And then we pass other parameters like the tokens, maximum number of tokens that is going to be used, right? And so messages, tokens, and then we go with the stop sequences. I left all of those empty because I don't need it. And here at the end, we have a new parameter that I added recently, which is the thinking parameter. They added it recently, and I just added it to our class. And that parameter is an object that could be enabled. That's the type, enabled. I don't know what that means, but you have to put it that way. And it has to be an object, just like this. And the other thing was the tokens that you put here must be lower, not even equal, lower than the max tokens that you set up before. So I usually put the max tokens to a number, and half of that number, I'm going to use it for my budget tokens. And when I do that, then I will stop here. I will stop the script here, and I will run this file. Let me see, hold on. Where am I? Am I doing this right here? Here. See what happened? They're complaining about something. What happened there? I don't know. So I just modified the script somehow. Let me, maybe the Claude Sonnet. Let me just go back to the original that was working. Here, there we go. So let's try it again. Yep, that's better. Let me see. Did it stop? Yeah, I think I'm waiting for a response here. Yeah, I'm waiting for a response. There's the response, and basically, in this case, Claude is answering back with, yeah, is the end of the turn. So it did whatever it's supposed to do. And then it will send back some contents. And in there, in the content, it would send me a text that has whatever the reply from Claude was. Very interesting, though, that it responded with 2. You see, this new part right here is because I sent the thinking. So the thinking part is also being sent. Usually, if you don't have the thinking part, you only get one content, always one, which is the text. But in this case, as I told it, hey, send me what you were thinking, it sends back the text. Oh, the question asks about the best way to travel from Dominican Republic to whatever, and it would go through the whole process. This is a long distance international journey. Let me think about it. And then it says, air travel. This is one way that it would do. And it would show the whole thinking process of AI, which then, now that I have this object called response, that it is exactly what I needed, now I can grab it and display it in a UI or something. So basically the whole process, as you can see, is just one line for me, right? It's just a create function. So what I would do is build a GUI or UI in which the user can type a question, hit the OK button, and when they say OK, I will grab the contents of whatever they typed and put it right here. So user content. And once the response is back, I will grab the response that Claude gave me, the text that it gave me right here, and put it back to the UI in some other way. You see what I mean? So it is really simple for us to use the Claude class. And once you get used to how it behaves, it's really interesting. And we have created many tools for clients that are using either Claude and also OpenAI as well, depending on what they need. So they can switch between the two. And it is using the classes that we created to do those actions, right? So if you are interested in playing a little bit with AI, you can use one of those classes, the OpenAI or the Claude one. And if you have questions, we can help you out on the chat on how to use them. But usually it's pretty straightforward. The examples there usually tell you how you can use them to create the responses that you need.
And also, Isaias, remind me, when we're doing OCR with Claude, you convert it to a bitmap. Is that what you're doing? I forget to shove the picture in there.
We are converting any image into a base64 encoded version of it, right? Which is just pure text. So we're sending the binary to AI as pure text. And then AI is actually being able to look at it and see what's going on and then reply based on that.